I photographed a portrait series of an incredible community in Sierra Leone called Tombo for WaterAid. Basically, what we wanted to do for this series was something completely different than the way that charity photography is usually done. So I think there's this trend with NGOs to look down on the subjects or to present them as helpless or pitiful. But we actually wanted to do the opposite with this. We wanted to show the people of Tombo how they actually are. On one of the days, I was photographing some of the men climb the palm trees and machete down the palm kernels. And I just kind of made this remark saying, oh man, it would be great to be able to climb the tree like you guys and look down as you come up. And lo and behold, the next day, the same guys that overheard me were building a huge ladder for me so that I could climb up this tree with my camera. So it got me thinking like, maybe we can construct other things for this project. So I ran by them the idea of the photo studio and they had some great ideas. So in the end, we collaborated with the community to construct basically this impromptu photo studio made of pretty much all local materials. So the background are the palm ferns and banana leaves that are from the actual plantations themselves. There are wooden poles holding bed sheets from someone's house down to diffuse the light. That's actually where we took the individual portraits of people. It did give like a little bit of finesse and character to the light that we could control. And it's honestly not different from an impromptu photo studio I would build on other projects and anywhere else in the world. And I think that speaks to the message of these photos, which is trying to present the community as they actually are, which is very well organized, self-sufficient, crafty, and really the only thing stopping them from having clean water is the local infrastructure itself. When you present people in this photo studio in this way, it's a portrait of them, but somehow the way that it was created is speaking a lot louder. So this is the Women's Council. We photographed them in our impromptu photo studio as a group together because she's training the next generation of women to take on her responsibilities. What's interesting about this photo is actually the box in the center here. That's actually the community piggy bank, and it's where the community keeps all their money that they raise on the community plantation. So these are the ones who control the finances of all of Tombo. So it's a very important picture that way. This is Joe Smart. I think this is my favorite photograph that I took on the entire trip. Earlier we had told people for their portrait to bring something that represented them. And when we were photographing something completely different, Joe shows up and he has his grass mask on. And of course it's a throwback to some of the local indigenous folklore of the place, but it's also just a playful thing for a kid to do. The way that we photographed him was actually quite spontaneous compared to the others. He was just ready to go. He gave this really heroic look, like a Tombo superhero. That's how this portrait was actually made. I wanted to use my skills to achieve something good in the world, and WaterAid was able to use my photographs to do a huge fundraising campaign that helped build clean water infrastructure in a lot of places in the world, including Tombo.
This is the most, in my opinion, the most meaningful job I think I've ever been part of, because it wasn't just one of the most photogenic places, it was one of the most welcoming places. And the purpose of all these photos went to such a great cause.
Honestly, as a photographer, this has been a dream project to work on. Everywhere has a special character, but I have to say that Tombo is probably one of the most special places I've ever been. And it has nothing to do with the ground or the soil or the area. It has everything to do with the people. And the way that we were welcomed there was unique to anywhere else that I've ever been in the entire world.